Hello, welcome to A Hare Over a Hill. I'm Hare. Today, is another quick little casual review of the movie Napoleon. So, as I said in my little Wish review, not only did I, in the same weekend that I saw Wish, literally a few days later, I went and saw uh, Napoleon. That comparatively, that was leagues better. Though I actively realized that the audience wanting to go and see Napoleon and the audience wanting to see Wish are two completely different sets of people in many ways. Um, Mostly on the fact that Napoleon was a rated R movie. I'm pretty sure it was rated R. Uh, Let us quickly check it out. So we do get an odd justification that on Rotten Tomatoes we do get like a slightly higher score in terms of critics, but a boatload of like lows in terms of audience thoughts. I'm wanting to see what uh see with some of this. Because overall I was like personally thinking that this was getting into hmm, that I thought some of this was actually like a fairly good movie overall. Granted, walking into it, yeah, rated R, that's fine. Um, that also surprised me. Directed by Ridley Scott. I don't think I was expecting that as the if the fifth uh, stage war sequences play like chess games. Wiki. Okay. Okay. If the the local cinema stage. Okay, so the best thing about this Napoleon can be found with the scenes. Uh, okay, so the results of a colossal ball that and never passionate and exciting or sexy. Save the exploding hull. Okay, so but it seems miscast to the point where you wonder if there was even a point. I feel like Ridley Scott and Joaquin Phoenix dislike Napoleon too much to actually make a film about Napoleon. Sure. So yeah, in a way, it's like one of those like if you're looking at the film like a lot of the like they somewhat make a point, but at the same time, it's a in a way they make it out the whole film to be like you're supposed to like him, and I've always like from history classes I've always gotten the strict idea that with Napoleon you it's that you never really supposed. Nick, I want to say this in a weird way. You never like Napoleon. Like, granted, in the way that, like, arrogance, that's the one, like, I've always gotten the sense that he was an arrogant man, in a way. And in this film, they really capture that in a way that he is arrogant, and with a strategic mind, and you get that. But with that, a man being so arrogant in his entire life, you always hate him in a way. And Joaquin Phoenix is an excellent actor. Is he miscast and whatnot? No, not at all. But I think overall, I really enjoyed the film. Um, like it really in part demonstrates in part the what is the one it really demonstrates his like Napoleon's noted like strategic mind, but it going through it there was times I was like, God, I wish I actually knew more about Napoleon's general life in all, because there were times like, oh, like definitely around that time in French history, because I barely know anything about the like, or if I did learn about this time in France's history, it's been years. So it's one of those things that's like, with many documentary style movies, it is like it is. You probably should know a little bit about it, but there are times that for a 2.5 hour movie, they try to cover in most documentary style, like these movies that's like, oh yeah, we are portraying this person and a time in their life. They're trying to cover what seems to be like the 30 years of his life or something. Uh, like the latter half of his life. It's like from the point that he became directly known to like his eventual death, and they cover such a huge time period that it's like oh they just jumped, or it's like the movie Waterloo covers literally just his last engagement, and that movie was known to be fairly long. So yeah, that's actually Water. Yeah, the 1970 Waterloo movie uh, was 2 hours 14. Uh, Napoleon, I think, is 2 hours 24, if I remember exactly. Eh, uh, 2 hours 38. So it is 24 minutes longer, and a 2 hour 14 movie. He uh, covered just his last battle. And they're covering 40 years of this man's life. So, yeah, things are being cut. Do you need to know a lot about Napoleon? No. Have you had a high school education? Like a modern European history course back in high school? Is that probably going to be enough to necessarily know oh entire Napoleon's life? No, but it's probably going to be enough to for somebody to be like, huh, okay, I can somewhat follow along and I somewhat know these events and whatnot. But it's like one of these things that after I watch, it's like I am wanting to go and see it, and it's one of those things that's like they could have like, oh yeah, we're doing multiple actors because we're doing covering like 30 years of the oh yeah, this is clearly supposed to be in his early military career. This is supposed to be mid career. This is supposed to be late. Let's do multiple actors. But no, they just like same actors covering 30 years. That I actually somewhat enjoy. That is like, is it the best decision in the world? there can be problems, but they just like there's a layer of like you're watching it the movie and there's a layer of um like disbelief and like you can buy into it's like oh okay like oh there's Napoleon Bonaparte it's like and then it's like as the movie goes it's like oh he's all just became a captain okay Joaquin's like maybe like they're covering just no they're covering a whole factor and Joaquin's playing Bonaparte the entire time and it oh goodness but it's like oh he's playing this entire time and it's like right at the beginning shouldn't he be fairly young at this point in Napoleon's part of his life it's like yeah he is supposed to be fairly young but it's like doesn't take away from it um yeah like there are like some general things that's like general awkwardness and I went with one of my parents and she wasn't really liking the like some of the fighting segments and whatnot but it's one of those things it's like it's a rated R movie they you know what you're getting into and some of it is the a Hollywood level of what are you expecting kind of situation overblown it and but it's like point is if you know a lot about Napoleon this could be an interesting movie to go and see if you want a starting point for a like I'm wanting to start watching like start like a personal like look back at this could be a point that it's like myself it's like now I was like now I almost want to like know these certain points throughout uh, revolutionary France but yeah point is do I recommend watching this movie um yes if you are old enough to go and watch it um it is in part worth to go and see in the theaters. Probably not completely to go and see it in theaters, but unlike Wish, where I would say you can probably wait until it's out on Disney Plus to go and see it. To see Napoleon in the theaters adds quite a bit to it, and making that little caption, the whole uh, Napoleon Josephine relationship isn't the best, but at the time, if you like, okay, in the context of the time, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's all above board kind of situation. And when watching it, it didn't really bother me all that much. So, yeah, I would, for a historical drama movie, I'm gonna somewhat go against with most of the reviews and say it's a solid 8 out of 10 and definitely worth a watch. If you are even the slightest history buff, I would highly suggest. I would even say, from a, a suggested watch to a almost guaranteed must watch if you're history buff. If you're a casual history buff, it probably lies between a must watch and a suggested watch situation. But yeah, those are my casual thoughts on this very good movie overall. And as always, people, I'll see you around.